Hello, welcome again, and welcome to Knowledge Word Sharing Season 3. Yes, I'm back again after a long hiatus. And yeah, this podcast, Knowledge Word Sharing, has turned 3 this year. So I figured, for the entering a third year means you're entering a middle senior level. Like, like when you're entering something in your organization, for example, when you enter the third year, you're no longer a beginner, you're no longer a novice, you're already entering a middle senior level. So there's some level of maturity. So similarly for this podcast, I wanted to be a little insert a little more maturity in it, and same time, try to be true to the goal and the purpose of this podcast. To number one, to be the voice for the voiceless. Number two, as an exposure of knowledge which I gain from various readings, and also talking to many people, and share it to as many people as possible, because I believe knowledge is this biggest dispeller for discrimination. Because why discrimination stems from ignorance. People tend to discriminate others because they tend to ignore others' culture, belief, or opinion. So learned something, this they once they've learned something new, they will not be ignorant anymore if they learn something new. So from new learnings come new understanding come new thinking come new clarity. So that's why I would like to be more bold in this, for the third year. Try to be more include try to include as many more variety in my podcast. Try to include guests from various fields, from coaches to spiritual healers to from spiritual leaders, or from individuals who has something to share to the world. So that's why, being in accordance to that, I was thinking, like, since podcast have turned 3, this podcast deserve a new face. So that's why I've decided to hire my friend of mine from the Hubble Group, Mickey Ho, custom design the new podcast logo for knowledge word sharing. So yeah, so this episode is about to explain the new episode of knowledge word sharing. Yes, hello again. And today's episode is about things I already mentioned earlier. The new season comes with a new look, new face, new fresh look. So for the third season, I chose to have a different, a brand new podcast podcast logo. Yes. So how did I come to this logo to my left here? Is um I I I was part of the members. I was part of the group called Hubble Group, which is the group which forms from the Global Empowerment Hub, which is the which headed by Andrea Zapska, who I'm truly grateful to be part of. And also I'm also was part of a speaker in last year's Global Empowerment Summit. So in the Hubbers group, I met a guy called Mickey Ho, who is a graphic designer So actually, earlier I've sought his services to create my coaching logo. But so now this is my second time I'm, like, working with him to design this podcast art. So as you can see on the left here, this is the podcast logo. So as you can see here, the it has many it has about three or four colors. It has a red color, a light blue, orange, and purple, and also some symbols in the one. So each one has their own symbolism. So I will, like, read the symbolism shortly. Yeah. So as I was saying there, I will now explain the symbolism of every characters, every aspect of this logo. Okay. So firstly, the purple color means wisdom, or intelligence, or knowledge. So that's why as the name suggests, knowledge worth sharing. So I would suggest, like, purple is this color of wisdom, and also the color of empowerment. So that's why I chose the backdrop color purple. Okay. And then the color red here, as being shown in the tip of the bulb, and also the name KWS by Yuva, because the red means the meaning of boldness, bravery. So the hope of this podcast, any person who anybody who been being introduced to the podcast could he could be empowered or could be boldened by his or her opportunity to voice out his or her opinion and her own voice, her own true voice to the world. Okay, now next it's about the outer shape, which is the light bulb. Now, why the light bulb? Because a light bulb here is to represent the idea of generating new ideas with an open mind and a willingness to learn. So, Mickey, thank you for the brilliant idea of putting a light bulb. I love it. I love it, and I can and I can and I keep on looking at it with a smile. I love it. Okay, and also now we go to the smaller icons in the light bulb. The light bulb has about 4 parts, which encompasses the 4 aspects of the podcast. Okay, the firstly on the extreme bottom right is the megaphone. Now, what is the symbol of megaphone here? A megaphone is to represent the voiceless while amplifying voices and sharing knowledge from various people or communities around the world. So right, media nowadays like is quite lopsided. They tend to they say okay, we are like neutral. We are like neutral. We cover issue from 360-degree view, but actually it's not. They do have an agenda, and certain agenda doesn't suit all. So through this podcast, I truly respect everyone, and I truly welcome everyone's opinion, good or bad, and I'm not here to judge. This is not a place of judgment. This is a place of empowerment, and also giving opportunity for someone who to give the voice to the voiceless. Okay, now on the upper left side, which is colored in blue, which is a book. Now you all know book is the place where you gain knowledge, you gain information, and basically know something about the world. So a book here is to represent education while spreading knowledge and dispelling ignorance. This is what I told again and again and again. Ignorance comes from discrimination, and also lack of conflicts comes from lack of knowledge. Okay, so next we explain about the location bottom left of the bulb. Okay, a map direction indicator here means the idea of navigating to different cultures and communities. So as I say, this podcast is a global podcast, so I'm open to interview anyone, anywhere, from any point of the world, from all 4 corners of the world. So that's why the symbol map direction is there. So this is truly a global podcast, open to all, truly open to all, and it's a no judgment platform. And lastly is the logo on the upper right side, which is in the orange. It has the different image of people with different heights and different size. So this means the meaning of diverse group of people or silhouettes. Now this represents the idea of a judgment-free platform for misunderstood communities. So as I say, this platform is truly an open for all, no judgment, no discrimination, no racism. So this is a safe ground for people to speak out their opinions and their voice. Now let's go to the colors. Okay, as I explained earlier, I explained the red and the purple. There's 2 more colors which is quite important here, which is orange and blue. Now, orange and blue. Now, orange and blue represents education and knowledge, and geared towards target audience of teens and young adults between the age of 15 to 40 years old. So we can say that actually the podcast is for all, but the target audience is for the general the generation which called millennials, and also Gen Zs. So this is the truly this podcast is truly for all, but the target audience is for millennials and Gen Zs. And the main message of the podcast is to spread knowledge. Hence, the overall logo uses light bulb. So now we have come to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening to the end of the episode. And I do appreciate all your feedback, all your comments, and I do appreciate all your support throughout the 2 seasons, and now we are entering season 3. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your support and all your feedback, and that's what keeps me going. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. And if you want to connect with me, or you want to share some ideas, or if you want to be a guest in my podcast, the links are all in the description of the audio and the video. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Sayonara, arigato gozaimasu. Bye bye.